Good evening, everyone.
Welcome back, folks. Today is Sunday, November 13th, 2022. We are your hosts, Chris
and Samantha,
back with another episode of MMTV.
On this Guide to Monument, we are doing student government. We're going to talk about what you can do for your school, events, what kind of interests you, and be a part of something. Student government. So let's go talk about it.
So I'm
Mia Cohen. I'm the secretary of the Executive Council of Student Government. Our presidents are Tyler Sprigg and Julian Bedell. Our vice presidents are Kaylee Davis and Adam Cronenberg, and then our treasurer is Nico. You can get involved, you can see me, any of those people I just named, Mr. Leslie, who's basically the head of everything. Just come up to us.
And what do you guys do primarily?
So right now we're focusing on like raising school spirit, because it's been dwindling. There's not very much, which sucks. We want everybody to participate in Spirit Weeks and going to big events, football games, any sports games.
The Spirit Week that we just had, was that you? We had like a kind of weird collision with the Instagram. I know that was on everyone's mind. Yeah.
So that was a bit frustrating for us because in order to plan a Spirit Week, you need to get it approved by either Falkowski or Farina, and so there's a limited amount of things that we can do. But yeah, the confusion was not great, and going forward we will be on Monument Bar Chair, which is an Instagram account. Yeah, so go to that, everything you need, what the theme is for the football games, what Spirit Week is, so to get the student body board involved. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, and thank you for raising school spirit.
Woo!
Pepperoni, yeah! With Quarter 1's recent finish, report cards will be sent out this week. They will be sent by email, but you will no longer need a password. If you do not receive your report card by Wednesday, reach out to Dee Norton. Now we dive into the world of cooking and baking. First, we start off with Gage's segment, Recipe Reviews. Then right after, Ember and Remy take it over with Fake It Till You Bake It.
Welcome back to Fake It Till You Bake It with Emily and Emmy. And this week we made blueberry muffins.
Well, he needs 122 today.
This is the taste test.
Yummy.
Oh, I am very yummy. We faked it and we baked it. Come back next week for more.
After months of preparation, our hard-working Spartans are finally ready to showcase their talents through the Shakespeare Fall Festival. They have already performed twice at Monument this past week and did amazing. But if you happen to miss it, don't worry, because they have another performance coming up at the Tina Packer Playhouse this Saturday, November 19th at 1 p.m. We hope to see you there. Next up, we head back into the world of missing people with Lexi, and then Gabe is back finally with his segment on historical subjects.
Hello, my name is Lexi and this is Missing People, the segment where each week I will report on a different person who has disappeared. This week we have Dr. Margaret Mary Kilcoyne, who at the time of her disappearance on January 26, 1980, was 50 years old, 5 feet tall, and weighed 140 pounds. On January 26th, Margaret, at her vacation home in Nantucket, Massachusetts, went to bed around 10:30 p.m. At 7 the next morning, when her brother Leo woke her for church, as she had asked him to do, she was gone. Although the temperature was well below zero, Leo noted that her car and bike were in the garage, her winter boots on the floor, and her only coat hung in the closet. Given the frigid temperatures and the fact that his sister was woefully undressed, Leon contacted the authorities immediately, prompting a major search over the island of a span of several days. The day before her disappearance, Margaret spent $900 on food and liquor, which she told the people at the store was for a party she was throwing, a party that none of her friends or family had any knowledge of. On February 3rd, 1980, some locals out walking their dog found neatly stacked and in plain sight Margaret's passport, savings book, sandals, and wallet. Strangely, these items were found about a mile from Margaret's home in an area which had been intensely searched. Some 150 yards away, authorities found a blouse rolled up and inside out in some brush, appearing to have been intentionally and strategically placed there. Although Margaret, a cardiologist doing research at Columbia, was known to have suffered periods of depression and/or mania, and Leo had reported to the authorities she had been stressed about her work, the discovery of these items pointed away from a potential suicide and more towards foul play. She was declared legally dead in 1989. However, the family continues to look for answers regarding her disappearance. If you have any information regarding her disappearance, please contact the Nantucket Police Department. Thank you for your time.
Toys for Tots is back. There is a box in the entryway of the high school for toy donations, newborn through 14 years old of age. All toys will be donated to families around Berkshire County. The last day to donate will be Tuesday, December 6th. Now, Apple shares with us this week's speed drawing.
The junior class is hosting a Minion movie night. The Minions Rise of Gru will be hosted at Monument Mountain on Friday night at 7 p.m. Students are $5 while adults are $8. Pizza and drinks are available in the cafeteria from 5:30 to 6:30 as well. And next up we have Leo with his segment on music reviews.
Hello and welcome to It's Music. Today we have another bad episode. This will probably be the last of these for quite a while, but I want to talk about 5 classic albums, 5 of my favorite albums, 5 albums that are just incredibly important to me and have shaped the way that I listen to music and think about music. Right off the bat, On the Beach by Neil Young. This is right now my favorite flavor of Neil. There are so many good Neil flavors, but On the Beach is really where I think Neil is at his most creative, his most uncompromising production-wise and songwriting-wise, his most sort of colorful in his instrumentation. The way On the Beach is, the first 5 songs are like pretty okay, and then the last 3 songs are like side B, are like, oh my god, this is one of the greatest albums ever made, because On the Beach, Motion Pictures for Carrie, and Ambulance Blues are like 3 of the best songs ever, and I just love them so much. I probably would have talked about Fleet Foxes there, but I already talked about them. So, Fishman's, December 28th, 1998, A Man's Farewell. What is not to say about this album? It's one of the most renowned dream pop albums of all time, one of the most renowned live albums of all time. These songs are so good, man. These songs are just so good, especially Night Cruising. A little too much ska for my taste always, but if I'm ready to just sit down and listen to the whole thing, I'll take the ska with the whole thing. And then you sort of get gradually more conceptual, and then it ends in Long Season, which is like arguably the greatest song ever made. There's also the fact that frontman Shinji Sato probably knew he was going to die going into this. He had this heart condition from when he was a kid. The band was about to split up, and he died like a month after this. And the way that he's performing all over this album, you can tell that he knows. Number 3, This Town Needs Guns by This Town Needs Guns. I'm not a huge math rock fan. I'm not a huge emo music fan. But this album just, it gives me some kinds of feelings nothing else does. It is an emotional steamroller, not because the emotions are extremely complex or anything. It's just something about it like awakens something deep in my subconscious that just makes me want to live. Next pick would be really any of the big 3 Radiohead albums. You know, OK Computer, incredible rock record, probably the culmination of rock music up until that point. Totally conceptual, totally amazing production-wise. Hit A goes in a completely different direction, not as different a direction as it gets chalked up to. It's not like much more bleep bloopy. And then In Rainbows. In Rainbows is on a totally different world from these 2 albums. When I think of In Rainbows, and when I hear people talk about In Rainbows, it's this just gut emotional response to this album. There's such beauty in here. It's not happy or sad. It's just pretty. It's just good. And lastly, Phil Elverum is my favorite musician. His earlier albums that are really grand and like epic and have these narratives and stuff. Experimental stuff after that, to the more stripped down, somber stuff like The Lost Wisdoms and the Death Duology. And my absolute favorite thing he's ever done is the album Microphones in 2020, which came out a couple of years ago. It's like the feeling of looking back at an old picture of yourself put to music. And it's the most glorious, amazing thing I've ever heard. Mount Airy is also one of the absolute greatest albums of all time. Maybe the greatest album of all time, in my opinion. All right, there you go.
Maroon Tribune, our student-led newspaper, is now available. Check out Student or Parent Square for the link to the weekly editions. Now, Hyatt takes over with his segment, The Short Skit, then Emmett shares with us his segment on video games.
Hello everyone, my name is Hyatt and I'm alone. No one here. I just put the phone on the ground so I could get this wide shot. Huh. Yeah, my camera person just sort of abandoned me today, so I guess I'm gonna have to be a alone out here in the back of the school, just like old times. See, this reminds me of a dream I had. My dream all started when I was a Frenchman. A mighty fine Frenchman at that one. And I spoke like this. I was eating my baguette, sadly, upon the park. And, as I was eating my baguette, it occurred to me. I had not yet eaten a duck that day. You see, ever since my father was kidnapped by ducks and held for ransom, I decided I was going to hunt and eat a duck every single Wednesday. And so, on that Wednesday, I had realized I'd not eaten a duck, and it was 11:50, so I had to go and find a duck post-haste. Yeah, so I went out to the park, to the duck park. Saw a duck, and it was hanging out, and I was like, "Hey duck, what's going on?" And the duck was like, and I speak fluent duck, so I was aware, as he actually said, "I have kidnapped your father again, and I will hold him for ransom again." And he was right. My father, my great beautiful father, was behind the duck, scared, and and oh no, I said, and so I ate. I slathered myself in mustard, as the French say, and and I started fighting him, fist on fist combat. Unfortunately, the duck had a knife, and I was stabbed. I was out there bleeding, my father being held for ransom, and it was 11:59. I had 1 minute to claim my duck prize. So, I got up, as sad as I was, and I hit the duck on the back of the head with a stick. And the duck, oh, he fell. He cried. He cried out for his mother, yelling, "I'm a duck, duck mom, please come save me." And then his mom came, and I was like, and then I died again. Yeah. Pretty cool dream. I know. Yeah.
Coin Wars has commenced. It is only going until this Friday, so take action now. There are jars located in the library for each grade, even teachers too. It is plus 1 point per coin value, and if you want to sabotage another grade's you can slip a dollar bill in theirs and take away 10. All proceeds will go to the Berkshire Humane Society as they are in need of supplies and food for their animals. Last but not least, Natalie takes us to the destination of the week, and then Emma will give us the weekly weather forecast as well as the MMRHS lunch menu.
Thanks, Emma, for ending off the night. Sadly, this brings us to the end of this week's edition. Thank you for joining us this evening. We will be back next week, same time, same channel. This has been your host, Samantha.
And Chris.
Have a good night, everyone.
Everyone.